Hey! He rejected us.
And this brings me back to last week's conversations. Speaking of mutants, you three mutants were screaming at this channel, telling everyone, why the fuck would Florian Wirtz want to go to Liverpool?
Hey! Mutants.
Just say Wirtz wants to come to the Premier League. Okay, and let's say you both put 100 mil on the table, 200k wages. Who does he choose in a straight shootout?
City.
Yep, I agree.
Hey! Mutants.
City have more pull. Arsenal have more pull. Chelsea have more pull.
Like, I don't think we're gonna drop that
big
money.
name you're gonna get. Like I've already seen hundreds linked with Man U big names, hundreds with Arsenal, with Man City, Liverpool.
Bro, what the fuck you want me to do, man? Hey!
Some James!
They're not getting Florian Wirtz. What they're saying here is that, like, we ain't getting the guy, we don't want the guy, but if he moves to England, we're going to pretend like we're interested. Hey! Already agreed a deal with Bayer Leverkusen. They don't want it to drag on. Soon as City get the green light from Florian Wirtz, the deal will be signed that day. Florian! They're in the chat, yeah. I'm on a fucking stream with 3 mutants who are ready to pounce. Mutants.
Sam, do you agree that they have more pull than you?
Some James!
But he doesn't go Liverpool. No way.
He don't go to Liverpool. I agree, don't go to Liverpool.
I
Why?
don't think he goes to Liverpool. I'm
Because
not
Well, let's
have
be
the
honest,
pull.
yeah. Let's be honest, yeah, as well. If Liverpool was serious, yeah, wouldn't have slot me there. Wouldn't slot like it'd be for partying, getting steam up. Florian, I want to go through these stages of grief, innit? They don't want
Thing
to
is,
do
it
that,
gets
bro.
worse, LB. It gets worse.
Florian! Oh yeah, it's Liverpool here. If you do decide to come to the Prem, let us know, mate. We might offer you a deal, innit? I think I've already said I think that Liverpool story was a load of rubbish. I'm gonna talk about this for the next days, mate, because it's interesting. Hey, he didn't meet Liverpool. He did not meet Liverpool. He did not meet Liverpool. He met City and only City. It's City v Bayern. Florian. All right now, Florian. Well, I think we've agreed a deal with Leverkusen. We've agreed a deal with Leverkusen. So, in terms of the purchase aspects, I think that's all pretty much agreed. It's now just a case of, can we agree it with Wirtz and just Wirtz give us the green light? Bro, what the fuck you want me to do, man? Dimitri. He's a top don.
Top Don, Dimitri, top Don. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another stream. Make sure guys are liking the video. Make sure guys are subscribing to the channel if you're yet to do so. Every single one of you guys right here, right now, please hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel. Big up to all of you guys, man. We are here Friday night. This time we did it 10 instead of 11, so it's a bit earlier. You get me? So make sure guys are getting stuck in the comment section. We are 30 subscribers away from 54.1k, on the road to 55,000 subscribers. So joining me first and foremost, of course, everyone's favorite, because he's just like me, the English version of Hussam is here. How you doing, Jamie?
Yeah, big up, man. I'm good. Not too bad.
Big up,
Not
big
too
up.
bad. Not too bad. My light ain't on. There you go.
The Club World Cup badge, right?
Yeah, I don't fuck around.
It is the club. Yeah, it is the Club World Cup badge. Yep,
Yeah,
it is. Yep. Good days, good days. Joining us next on the channel, the man with... Oh, it does look like you, Jerry. Oh, come on. It just looks like you with a bit of editing. Anyway, you get me. He's complaining about the thumbnail in the background. So he has some words to say to Vel. How doing, Jerry?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Feeling extra negative today. So shout out the chat. No, that does not look like me at all.
Yes, it does.
No, of course it doesn't. It's not even my teeth. That's not even me.
Wait. Yes, it does.
Are you taking it?
It's
No,
literally
what?
you, mate.
No, it isn't. That's an AI generated image.
Yeah, but why would Vel generate an AI image of you?
You wanna? Ask Vel. I guarantee you. I guarantee you.
I'm gonna ask him right now. I'm
Oh my
gonna ask him
God.
right now. I'm
That is
literally gonna ask him
hilarious.
right now.
That is
Literally gonna
hilarious.
ask him right now.
Ask
we
him,
go.
ask him. But big up the chat.
Yo,
Smack
well,
it.
Jerry's saying that this is a AI generated image of him because it don't look like him. We need the answers.
It's got like a weird shine to it, ain't it?
It's got
Yeah,
a weird
but it's-
shine. The teeth are
Yeah.
different. The beard's different. Like it's completely different. But anyway, big up.
Fair.
But shout out to the chat. Smash the likes, people. Let's get her some. How many subscribers are you on now? 53?
54.
54. Yeah, come on. Let's get to 55 in the stream. Come on.
Let's go. Joining us next, the man with all the inside information. You get me? Kmack sources, barbecue sauce, ketchup, mayonnaise, and Kmack secret insider. How do you Kmack, mate?
I'm good. My favorite salad cream, but that's not a sauce, is it?
Sour cream. No, it does count
Salad
as a sauce.
cream.
Depends what you do. Yeah.
Salad cream.
Depends what you dip in it though.
Yeah, salad cream's my
Could you
sauce.
dip fries in sour cream?
Look at Jamie.
No.
I do like salad cream.
Gravy or ketchup, man. That's all.
Yeah.
I can't lie to you. As boring as it sounds, my favorite cream is my favorite like sauce is just mayonnaise. I'm being honest with you. I won't even lie to you. Garlic mayonnaise just does the job.
Oh,
Good with chicken, good with fish.
Anything with garlic, mate. I'm in.
Yes, exactly.
Like
Yeah,
an anti-vampire, I am.
Yeah, exactly. Listen,
Anything
anyway,
with
it's good with
garlic,
everything.
aioli.
Good with
Oh.
chicken, good with fish, good with fries, good with everything.
Yeah.
Anyway, this guy's definitely not good with everything. He's an acquired taste, but we love him, so we keep bringing him back. Man like Mike is in the building. How do you, Mike?
First off, I'm good at everything. Second off, the Thunder won, so hold that. Third off, you're on crack if you think that looks like Jerry. Jerry does not have a comb over. He has never had a comb over ever.
Bruv, I've
He
never had
doesn't
a comb over.
That's not his
He
hair.
has got a
Jerry
comb
doesn't
over.
have straight hair. Jerry does not have straight hair.
My teeth don't look like that, and my beard doesn't look like that either.
It literally looks like he plugged it into ChatGPT, and ChatGPT
He
just
100% did. He 100% did. You should get
But
sat
He
either
hasn't
way-
answered yet. When he answers, I will
Either-
let you know. 100%.
Listen. You can ask the chat. There's just no way in hell that looks anything like
It's
Jerry.
like a
But anyway,
cross
big
between
up.
Jerry and Nat Phillips.
Do it. It looks like my Arab cousin. That's what it looks like.
Hey,
Yeah.
let's go.
So, Vel,
Mike, I think you're the only one that didn't get
that.
Man
AI
said this
generated.
is not Jerry James. This is Jamil
I
James.
can't
Yeah.
be AI generated because I'm my
Jamal
face is
James.
so unique.
Yalla.
You know,
I've got
Hey.
I've got real definition on my picture.
Yeah,
look
you do,
chiseled.
you do.
AI knows
Also,
not to.
also, Mike, just so you know something, you said that the Thunder. Can you sit up a little bit? Why you sat like it's just because
The
you're like
Thunder
this
didn't.
small
Okay,
on
but
the-
here's the thing: the Pacers.
No,
didn't beat
one
the
second,
Thunder.
one second.
The
You
Thunder
said that
lost
the
3
Thunder
games.
will sweep the Pacers. If it
Yeah,
went
and
to
they
game
still
7,
won.
you can't claim you got it right. You did not.
Yeah, but
Hold that.
okay, but much like Liverpool results and the majority of this fan base, no one wants to actually dissect or analyze why it is teams win or lose games. And if you were to do that, you'd realize that the Thunder lost and the Pacers didn't win.
Here's your answer, Jerry.
Hell no. Show me the screenshot, Vel.
Send me the
original-
screenshot.
Send
The
the
original
screenshot and then
copy.
we'll analyze
Original.
it.
Send me the
With that-
screenshot right
The
now.
screenshot with no editing. Yeah.
You need to put
Yes,
him on a
with no
disciplinary.
editing, man.
You
Send
need
it
to
right
put him
now.
on a disciplinary for that.
Bro, it's
Yes.
not Jerry's hair. Jerry doesn't have straight hair with the comb over. It's not his
Oh,
hair.
the
Okay,
question
Mike, why
is-
are you shaking your ass violently for Jerry? We get it, bro. Don't worry about it. We
It's
can
all right,
handle
Mike.
it.
I just found it to be funny. That's all.
No, it's
I just,
funny.
I
It's just
pointed
funny.
it out.
Mate, Jerry looks all right. I look like a Polish builder. Do you know what I mean?
Nothing wrong with that. Let's go.
There's-
Look at all the beautiful Polish women in the world. Anyway, big up to all of you guys. Make sure you guys are liking the video. Make sure you guys are subscribing to the channel. Guys, listen, we have 900 people in here. You know how the stream goes. You know how this shit happens. You get me every time. So I don't want to keep stopping the guys that are going to have massive debates to tell you to like and subscribe. So just hit the like button, subscribe. Stop being a fraud. Everyone, please hit the like button, subscribe right here, right now. Because there's 900 people in here. We're not even at 200 likes yet. Everyone, please hit the like and subscribe button. Apa kabar? Saya tinggal di Malaysia 2 tahun. Big up to you, my brother. Anyway, let's go, guys. Shall we start off with the Diaz topic? I feel like I want to switch it up today.
Yeah, why
I
not?
want to start. Oh shit, he's back. Here we go. This is Val sent. Here you go. There you are.
Oh my
And,
god!
and that looks. Oh my
That's-
god.
Oh my god!
That's literally a screenshot.
And
I
he's
can't
put
even
it in
lie to
chat
you.
GPT.
Well cooked.
So of course it's not me.
It is you. He just
No,
he
no.
screenshotted it.
Yeah, but think of the pixelation. So what he's done, he's taken a screenshot from a recording. Yeah, and I don't even know what recording that was. That must have been from one of our streams ages ago. And he's put it in chat GPT. And that's what's come out of it. That's my point. Not that like he took a picture of a random person and just put it on there. But yeah, Vel's been using chat GPT for Sam. Yeah, you need to put him on a disciplinary. I don't know if that's allowed
I
in
will.
your business.
I will. I'm gonna fire him before August. Anyway, listen, guys.
Jeez.
Let's yeah, he's definitely getting fired. Here's the thing. Instead of us talking about Isak again, I want to switch it up today. I want to talk about Diaz and Gakpo, and then we'll get to Isak. So let me just share the news with the guys. Obviously, you guys have seen all the latest reports about Diaz being unhappy. So this is the latest Diaz update. This was from 3 hours ago, and I'm gonna bring up as well the earlier on. So I'm gonna work it backwards. Like I'm gonna work this Diaz information backwards today, chat. So instead of us starting with what started all this shit, let's work our way backwards. Let's start with the latest one, and then I'll tell you what Sierra said earlier on today. Keep an eye out on Luis Diaz. He's a Nasser top target all the moment. Liverpool don't want to sell, but if an offer arrives between 85 to 100 million, you never know. Liverpool might change their mind, and their decision will depend on Diaz. Al Nassr are going to be really active when we get into July. So that's the latest 3 hours ago. And this is the Pipe Sierra tweet. By the way, for all the OGs, they know Pipe Sierra broke the Diaz news on Football Wars space. If you know, you know. The streets will always remember. Liverpool interest in renewing Luis Diaz's contract seems to have disappeared. His continuity at Liverpool is not guaranteed. Diaz and his entourage are not happy with Liverpool. So that is all the Diaz stuff. And now, before I hand the people the mic, just so we share all the news, the final piece is on Cody Gakpo. All the left wingers, basically. If Bayern Munich can't sign Nico Williams or Jamie Gittins, Cody Gakpo is the third option. So these are all three major pieces of information on Luis Diaz and on Cody Gakpo. So before we open the floor up, I'll start off with you, Jerry. You tell me your thoughts on this whole situation. Talk to them.
Yeah, people know Diaz. I'm a big Diaz fan. I like what Diaz offers. I like his versatility. I've supported him on this channel when people didn't. So for me, it is worrying from that aspect. But I understand what Luis Diaz's camp are saying, because from what I'm gathering is they've at first said they'd probably get into his contract maybe a couple seasons ago, maybe last season. They haven't done that. He's one of the most underpaid player in the top four. Is that fair to say in terms of his importance to the squad? And yeah, the amount he's getting paid in comparison to his counterparts. You then obviously hear rumors that, Barca's coming in and, his dad's twerking for Barca and all of that. And yeah, cool. Agents have probably spoke to Barca and Barca have said, yeah, look, we will sign you, but it's going to be for this price, right? Liverpool have now said they're not selling. So they've put him in a situation now where, from his point of view, he's not going to get a contract extension, but Liverpool don't want to let him go. Because whether it's Slot or Edwards or whoever, they value him at a certain level. Now, as you just showed, Liverpool don't want to sell, but will be tempted by a mammoth offer. To be honest, that goes for any player in our squad, bar Virgil, Salah. I don't really know who else. Honestly, if a massive offer, all relative to the player, but if it came in for the player, I think we'd sell, because I think Liverpool would be content with the signings they've made, and they'll be content that they could go into the transfer market and sign a player at a replacement. So yeah, it's just it's confusing. You're now seeing obviously the stuff with Gakpo, and I know it said third choice. He's basically second choice, because Nico Williams, he looks like he wants to go to Barca, and that's the only place he wants to go. So really, he's second choice now. We may be in a situation where we have two of our left wingers go, which for me, it's like we've taken 3 steps forward, but are taking 2 steps back now, because now we're having to get 2 left wingers in potentially to replace those 2 players, unless Wirtz is a left winger, which obviously will be another spanner in the works, right? But you're looking at 2 players at least that need to come in, that need to hit the ground running, that need to understand the system, and that there's no guarantee that they're going to work unless you go and try find the closest thing you can to a guaranteed success. And there's not many of them. Like when I look at in world football, for who's available, I'm not going to lie, I don't think I'd want any left winger. I don't think I'd want to keep Gakpo and Diaz. So for me, it's a bit worrying. You've now, and this is what happened, and this is what I was talking about, is with the contract extensions that you've made, and with the signings that you're making, players. So now you've got Konate and now Diaz. First teamers are looking at it and saying, "Hey, I want a bit of the pie as well. Why are they on that type of money? And this is my level of importance to the team. All right, cool. I want to go, but you don't want to let them go." That for me is going to cause some problems. And look, from a Liverpool perspective, of course, you want to keep your players and you want to pay them as little as possible, and you want to max out the return that they give you. I fully understand that. But from a footballer's perspective, yeah, this is poor, man. And when you look at what Diaz is on in particular, like he's being shafted there. I don't know. From what I've heard from people that I know in and around that camp, my missus is Colombian and friends and all of that, he doesn't want to go Saudi. So for me, that's why there's anger there, because he doesn't want to go Saudi, but also wants to maximize his earning potential, because you've got one career, and that's the kind of, do you know what I mean, the crossroads he's at, because Liverpool don't want to sell to Barca, because you're selling to a rival that you may face in the Champions League potentially. We've seen how far they go, and Liverpool obviously want to go far in the Champions League. And B, they want to just get as much money, and they feel like they're going to get done if they sell him for 50 million, because how do you replace a player like Diaz for 50 million if you're just going to do if you're not going to add money on top? And I think that's where we're at with the situation. Yeah.
Look, obviously everyone knows my things of Diaz, but I actually grew to really like him this season just gone, because I saw the player that he can actually be. And then he might be going the season after, which is a bit of a bummer. I know a lot of people have been talking about his Diaz situation with his wages and stuff like that, and him wanting a new contract. Look, that's not the club's fault. He's got a shit agent, right? That's pretty much Luis Diaz's issue. Luis Diaz, when he was at Porto,
why do you think that? So just for me, in the chat, why do you think he's got a shit agent?
Well, at Porto, the year we bought him, he was on £9,000 a week. He was one of the lowest paid players in that Porto squad.
Yeah,
he came to Liverpool and got 55 grand a week, which is obviously a big increase to what you was on. I mean, it's 14,000 euros. I don't know if that equates to about £9,000 or £10,000 a week, don't it? And now he's on £55,000 a week. Liverpool's problem with giving Diaz a new contract is when would they have gave him a new deal? The best time to give him a new deal, unfortunately, is when he got injured, and you don't give injured players new deals when they're injured. It's just that's not a sensible thing to do. And then he came back and then redid the knee again, was out for a while, weren't he? Then, unfortunately, for the family situation, what happened to his family and his dad and all that, you can't really talk about contract situations then, although his dad did have a release clause, which big up. But apart from that, how do you give Diaz a new contract? And then he's got 2 years going into his contract into his now. And then Liverpool probably looking at him thinking, right, he's 28 years of age. He's not a superstar footballer in Liverpool's eyes like a Salah or Virgil. So he's not going to get like monster contract. Do Liverpool go, right, we'll give you another 2 years, give you 4 years, take you up to like 31, 32, 120, 130, 140 grand a week. We double your contract. But the club might be thinking and looking at it and thinking, if he plays for us and stays, he's a valuable asset on the pitch because of what he does with his quality. But losing him for a free doesn't really hurt us financially because of the small contract he's on. And that's why Liverpool can still get good money for Luis Diaz. And that is why I think Liverpool playing is extremely well at the moment. They've come out and said he's not for sale because of his small contract. They can still get 80 million quid for him. which I think Liverpool are playing a blinder by this right now. I think if you're going to sell Luis Diaz, if Liverpool really want to sell Luis Diaz, you'd think it'd be this summer because he's just come off the best season he's had at Liverpool Football Club since he's been here. And you're maximising his full profit right now without giving him a new contract. And then you go into the market and get what you need to get this summer. So I'm good with Diaz staying, by the way. I really am. I'm fine with him staying for 2 years, seeing out his contract and living on free. That don't worry me. I'm also not too concerned if he leaves either, because I'm with Jerry here on this one thing. If you're going to buy a player right now as a left winger that's available, Kvaratskhelia not available, yeah. But if you're going to buy a left winger that's available right now, are they better than Luis Diaz right now? Maybe not. But in a few years to come, are they going to be better? Yeah. But I think the way Slot's looking at buying players this summer, he wants players ready to go right now to conquer. So who do you go and get? Do you go a bit Barcola? I don't know. But here's my little twist on this whole thing. If Liverpool sell Luis Diaz, they don't buy a striker this summer.
What? How did you come to that conclusion?
Because I think, right, I spoke about this yesterday. I think Liverpool are Isak or no one right now. Because
No, I don't think so.
Because if they buy any striker this summer, they're never buying Isak. And Isak,
I think that's the case. I think we lose out on Isak this summer. We ain't buying him.
But I think they want Isak. I think they want Isak. I've got a funny feeling if Diaz goes, they could sell.
You want
they
Isak
could buy,
Isak.
They could buy someone like a Barcola, yeah, and you can play a Wirtz Barcola Salah front three quite comfortably, and score goals because Salah's still
I think
there,
we're gonna try for Isak this summer, but if we don't get Isak, I think we're gonna get Ekitike. Timo Isak.
I don't know.
I've got a slightly.
That's literally Isak from Wish, Jamie. Like the next Isak.
I also think that Liverpool, if Diaz does go, Liverpool might just go and try and get Rodrigo. And then if they get Rodrigo, they might just wait for Isak the following summer. That's what they might do.
I would say
I can see that kind of thing happening when they go, Rodrigo's a special player. He's available for 77 million, apparently, which is a very good price, which is pretty much the same price you're selling Diaz for, around that market value. If you go and get Rodrigo in and you think to yourself, look, I want Isak. That's the player I want. That is who Richard Hughes wants. That's the top of the list, yeah? I know he's looking at Ekitike, but if he can get someone like Rodrigo in, playing with Salah, playing with Wirtz, playing with Cody Gakpo, and then he tries to go for Isak the following summer, maybe that's how Liverpool look at it.
But here's the thing. Can I be honest with you? I think if we don't buy Isak this summer, we ain't going to buy Isak full stop.
No.
That's it. I don't think we're going to get him. I really don't think we're going to get him. Like, that's my thing. I think it's Isak. Isak is our target, yes, and we will try, yes, and we will attempt, yes. But I think we're going to get him this summer. But anyway, back to this Diaz-Gakpo situation.
Can I? I've got a slightly different.
Let me just read this out. Buy Rodrigo to replace Diaz. Isak will be at LFC. Look, here's the thing. The problem is I want it to be a separate section, but it's kind of all like related. So we maybe put the Konate as the separate section. Let me just say something. I believe that the interest in Alexander Isak is real. I believe that the club will actually, and this is what I like. I genuinely know this now, not heard it or anything. Like I actually know this for a fact. The club will attempt its all to sign Alexander Isak. Now, here's the thing. Liverpool are the type of club to not go back in for your ex type thing. That's just something that we do. That's something that we've done under Michael Edwards forever. Like we're, and no one tell me the Virgil example, because Virgil was like in August and he said no, and they're like, we're going to go sign him in January. That's not going back in for your ex. I'm talking about like the Chouameni situation, the Bellingham situation, like all these situations. We don't try to go back in. Zubimendi, prime example. He said no, we're like, okay, khalas, fuck off to Arsenal, and we're not even going to attempt it. So my thing is the following. Look, I think we're going to try for Isak. I think we're going to try our best for Isak. But if Isak says no, I think the Isak to Liverpool story is done. I don't think we're going to attempt it next summer. I don't think we're going to try it next summer. Because if anything, Isak next summer is going to be even more expensive. Why? because Isak would have scored goals in the Champions League, because Isak would have done it again in the year for another in the league for another season, etc., etc., etc. When you say buy Rodrigo to replace Diaz, that's a great point. Jamie made it as well. I think that's a possibility, and I mentioned 3 names today. Look, here's the problem with losing out on Luis Diaz. You're also losing out on versatility, because Diaz can play down the middle, and when Mo goes to AFCON, Diaz can play on the right. That's another thing that people don't ever mention. That's another thing, because he did it in the quadruple charge season, by the way. He played on the right when Mo went to AFCON, and Oxlade-Chamberlain. Yeah, and Oxlade-Chamberlain played on the left. Now, my thing is the following. I mentioned 3 names today. Rodrigo, Barcola, and Rafael Leao. Those are the only 3 players that I would not be upset losing Luis Diaz to. Other than that, with all due respect to everyone, please don't tell me Semenyo is going to replace Diaz. Please don't tell me any of these guys promote Rio, Gomoha, whatever, guys. Let's put the fries in the bag. Rio is fucking 16 years old. We cannot go like Gomoha, go ahead, start 38 Premier League games. It doesn't work this way. That's why when you say Rodrigo, now I'm excited. Now I'm buying in. And by the way, Jamie, the Rodrigo thing is the only thing that might make me go like, we might not sign a striker. That's the only one player that I might take a step back and go like, you know what? It makes sense for us to do the whole like, you know, like the versatile front 3 shit, because it will work with Rodrigo. Like with him, it will work, yes. But yeah, that's my 2 pence on this situation, to be honest with you.
So I've got a slightly different spin on the contract situation, and I've got a feeling this is all about loyalty. I've got a feeling this is all about trying to work out which players are the ones that you really want to keep in this team for the next couple of years. Because if you look at the players that we're signing, there's a huge amount of loyalty there, like bringing their dads to the press conferences, like, you know, kissing the shirt and saying they want to win, and you get a real good feeling about it. And then you've got snaky agents, you've got players that are disgruntled, you've got players that are having kickoffs in training with other players. And look at those. They're not at the club now. You've got your Nunez, who's off. You've got potentially Diaz, who we're trying to flog. Like, whether you like it or not, we're trying to sell Diaz because we put a price on his head. And if it wasn't for Barcelona just being skins, he'd be playing for Barcelona. Let's just be real. And I totally get the money issue. Like, why would we sell Diaz for 40 million? Like, it's the most money we're ever going to get, because it's the highest value he's ever going to be right now, because he's had his best season and he's just won the league. So to be lowballed with 40 million euros, not 40 million quid, 40 million euros by Barcelona for him is absolutely pathetic. And I totally get why Liverpool turned it down. And I feel like this is a loyalty thing now. It's finding out which guys are going to run through your brick walls, which guys are going to do it for Liverpool for the next couple of years. And we're starting to see some of the people that maybe aren't going to be there. And I don't know whether Konate is going to be one of them either, if I'm completely honest. Like, if the stuff's real about him saying he's disappointed, he's been let down, then see you later, mate. Like, Diaz, see you later. Like, unfortunately, you're not going to be there to win more trophies with us. Like, if that's the attitude you've got. But Cody is a little bit different for me, because I feel like Cody's pushing for a new contract. And I feel like Cody is totally on board with the Liverpool project. And I'd be more than happy for him to stay and for the other to go, because I still feel that Wirtz is going to get played on the left-hand side. Like, and if you look at the Wirtz photographs that were posted when he signed, there's a tactics board with Wirtz on the left-hand side in the background. So there could be a ploy there for maybe what a slot wants to do.
If we want to play Wirtz on the left, explain why we're trying to sell Harvey Elliott then. Because he would be our only backup 10 at that point in time. And backup right wing.
So you've got Szoboszlai.
No, it's a backup.
You've got Szoboszlai, Wirtz.
Jones,
no, you play 3 attacking midfielders, and you play Mo.
The equation is not equationing here. So who's
play
the
Mo and the,
okay?
and,
So
and
let's
the one
say
we're gonna
so. Let's
sell.
go with Kmack scenario. So you're saying Wirtz starts left wing? Could happen. I'm not against it.
Yeah.
Now, so who's the midfield three starting? Gravenberg, McAllister,
Two
Szoboszlai, right?
midfielders, 2 pivots.
Yeah, but
Yeah, Gravenberg, McAllister, Szoboszlai. Yeah.
So you got
Yeah,
no,
but
you got McAllister, Gravenberch, and then 3 in front of them, and then 2 in front of them.
what?
That doesn't make any sense. So what you're talking about 3-2.
No,
You're saying
3-2?
three, are you
Sorry,
saying
so
do
you
3
got,
at the
okay,
back?
so you got
3-2.
Kerkez, you got Kerkez left.
Yeah.
You've got Virgil, you've got
Mhm.
Guehi or whoever, Konate, I don't
Mhm.
know.
Yeah.
Then you got Frimpong, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then you've got Gravenberch,
McAllister.
McAllister,
Okay.
Wirtz,
Yes.
Szoboszlai.
Yes.
Have I missed one out?
You're on 8.
Wirtz.
Allison, Frimpong, Kerkez, Virgil, whoever at centre back, Gravenberg, McAllister.
I wasn't
4-4-2.
counting Allison. I wasn't counting Allison.
You got me mixed
Yeah,
up
okay,
there, 'cause I
so
wasn't-
Wirtz, okay, so Wirtz on the left, Szoboszlai in the 10, on the right,
Yeah.
Mo, and whoever at striker.
Yeah, and then the striker.
Okay, so now
Hold
my
on.
point is, for those midfield 3, who are the backup 3 then?
It will be,
Curtis, Endo.
Wait.
it will be Jones, isn't it? Because that's what it is. So Jones,
Yeah, but then we're missing a midfielder.
no,
We're
because
working.
you have
No.
McAllister. We'd have
You've
McAllister,
got the
Gravenberch.
pivot.
Let's say it's McAllister, Gravenberch, Szoboszlai as a midfield 3, right?
Yes.
It doesn't matter what
Yes.
what combination you want to do.
I
It's
agree.
midfield 3,
Okay.
right? Jones can play in either position, right? You then still have Endo to come in the 6. We might still get some random 6 if Slot
You've
don't
got,
like
you've
Endo.
got
but
Stefan
I
as
mean,
well. Stefan Bajcetic.
Yeah, I don't know about him.
You've also
But,
got
yeah.
James McConnell
So
as
then
well.
selling Harvey, doesn't make any sense then.
Hold on.
No,
We're
Slot didn't use him anyway. That's what he's trying to
Didn't
say.
use him.
If Slot didn't use him, then you're not going to miss the player that you didn't use. And then you look at like a Morton didn't play either. So when you look at the midfield, you had 3 midfielders, but 4 of them rotated. And worst case scenario, you can always put Wirtz in there as well because he's versatile as well. So you can play in midfield. So you technically have 4 midfielders, but he's saying play Wirtz on the left. But I just think with the Elliott situation, it's just he's not playing games. So whether it's not like he's back up and he did play a lot of minutes and that was Jones. Do you know what I mean? That was Jones and whoever else, really. So
just to go back to what Kmack was saying. First, I don't give a shit what any German publication says about anybody. They said that Wirtz was going to go to Bayern Munich. Look how that fucking ended up. We're not getting rid of Cody Gakpo. Unless Bayern Munich comes in with a ridiculous overbid that is 30 million pounds over what he's worth, in which case I would say, you know what? If you're going to get that much money for him, you might as well, because Luis Diaz has 2 more years on his contract, and whether he likes it or not, he's going to have to play for me. But I don't think that that's going to happen. I think Cody Gakpo's staying. Loyalty is a two-way street. Loyalty is not just the player's loyalty to the club. It's the club's loyalty to the player. Luis Diaz is on 55,000 pounds a week. I'm not sure what his bonus structure is. I don't know if that information has to be made public. I have no idea if Liverpool has to say how much money each individual player made, what each of their bonuses were. I don't know, because it's very likely that he's not earning 55,000 pounds. It's very likely that it is more than that. We just don't know how much more. But this player is coming off.
It's never enough 90. That's the rumors.
Regardless of what it is, he's coming off his best season in a Liverpool shirt, and we won the Premier League. So if I'm the club, you either want him or you don't. And if you don't want him, I don't care what the bid is. If he's not in your plan, I don't want a player that doesn't want to be here and I'm unwilling to sell, because then that's just going to seep into the locker room. I don't want to see a player who doesn't want to be on the pitch playing for us, not giving 110%, because then that's 60 minutes that I don't get back in a game. And who knows if I'm going to win or lose that game because of his ineptitude. We saw it in certain situations where Trent didn't look like he wanted to be there. And in certain games, it cost us points. But then there were other games where Trent wanted to be there. And in those games, it gained us points, right? So I never want to see that. Number 2, another reason why I say loyalty is a two-way street is the Ibrahima Konate business. The man's on 70 million pounds a week. Under no circumstance should he be on 70 million pounds a week. He is one of the
70 million.
Sorry, 70,000 pounds a week. He's one of the best center backs in the Premier League, one of the best center backs in Europe, maybe the best center back partnership in all of Europe. And to me, if he's unhappy,
Konate in a bit, but just stick it.
I know, but it adds to the point of Luis Diaz. If he is unhappy with what the club offered, and if the club doesn't want to give Luis Diaz more than 55,000 pounds a week, to me, that's telling me that the club doesn't want to pay the players what they have deserved to be paid. Now, is 200,000 pounds a week maybe a little bit of an overstretch? I don't know, but at the end of the day, I want Konate here. I don't think that that's an unreasonable price tag.
Okay, I'm gonna offer. Okay, let me offer you all something. I'm gonna give you all offer right now. Diaz and Nunes leave Liverpool Football Club, and coming through the door is Isak and Malik Fofana. Everyone here take it?
Yeah, of course we would.
Yeah,
I would because of
just for Isak alone. Yeah,
I would.
Okay, now I change the scenario.
No.
Okay, now I change the scenario. You Diaz and Nunes leave. You bring in through the door Barcola and Ekitike. Which scenario do you like more?
Oh, the first one because of Isak.
I don't want. We're never getting Barcola. Can we end this? He's not leaving PSG.
Mike, literally, Bayern want Barcola. It's not like some fucking major club wants.
To be fair, it's a possibility because since Kvaratskhelia came in and the rise of Doué, Barcola's minutes have dropped. So it is a possibility.
Like his minutes dropped.
But the problem where this all stems from, just as Mike said, is you have a bunch of players where 99% of the players have come into a structure where you were told, this is our structure, we don't move from this, and this is how it is, right? As soon as Liverpool decided to break it for Virgil and Salah, right, in terms of whether it's money, contract, and you try to do everything, right? All of a sudden, everyone is open ears. I know people don't want to go and everyone's got to raise. It's like a pay rise, isn't it? At a company, the shareholders can't be getting a 5% increase without the cleaner getting a 5% increase as well, right? So the problem you've got right now is people don't want to think about it, but it's true, right? I'm in football, I see it. Every player is looking out for their financial stability always. That is the main priority. The trophies and stuff are the dream. It's your kind of it's a childhood dream that you're going and nourishing, right? But ultimately, it's a job where you go and get paid. That is football, right? If there wasn't so much money in it, a lot of these people wouldn't be football players, right? It's a career. That's why they're there. When you've gone and broken that wage structure, you've opened the floodgates to everyone because you're looking at it and you're like, oh, okay, they've got an increase. That person's got an increase. This player's coming in and players talk, right? Agents.
Who are you talking about specifically here?
Everyone, whether it's Frimpong, whether it's Kerkez, whether it's this. What will happen is a Konate's agent will go and look at the market. They'll look at all the centre-backs in the world, similar level and how much they're getting paid. They'll then go and look at, okay, cool. Let's look at other players in different positions and their importance when they came into the club. So as an example, a Kerkez, right, or Frimpong is probably coming in at the same level that a Konate was coming into when he came to Liverpool, right? Fee, you're looking at it, your potential, you're going to be a starter. You might not start straight away because there's someone there, but if they're on 80,000, 90,000 pounds a week and Konate's on 70,000, right? He's thinking, whoa, what's going on here?
Yeah, that one I agree with, but I don't think anyone, I don't think any Liverpool player can knock on the door based off of like Salah and Van Dijk as an example.
No.
Hold on. You aren't understanding what he's saying. It's the floor.
I am understanding what he's saying.
The floor
Salah and Van Dijk. Okay, let me offer you the counter argument. Salah and Van Dijk is the exact reason why people can't do the thing that you're doing, which is these two have done it for 9 years at Liverpool Football Club, showed unbelievable consistency, and only after 9 years have they been paid this much.
But that's a difference, Hussam, though. You're coming into a club at a completely different position, at a completely different point in your career. If we were now signing Virgil van Dijk today, right? There's no way we were paying him what we did now.
No, we wouldn't pay him 70 grand a week. Of course we wouldn't.
No, because you're Premier League champions. B, because the market has changed. The price of everything has gone up. ultimately, a Konate, no matter how much he goes and loves Liverpool, and I believe that he does, you see it in the way he moves. You see it the same way with
Yeah,
Diaz.
Konate deserves a pay rise. Diaz deserves a pay rise, 100%.
No, they do. The problem is
No
now
one's
is that
denying
you
it.
have to go and match it, and that's where these rumors start to go.
But here's the issue: if Al Nassr is going to give him 300 grand a week, Liverpool are never matching.
Of course, not 300.
Which is fine.
Of course. If Diaz is coming out saying or Konate saying no, I want 350, 400 grand a week plus bonuses, and of course not. But
Yeah.
I'm of the belief, right? I'm of the belief that if Diaz is on 55 and you pushing him up to 180, which is probably what he's on, he stays and he's not. There's no complaints. There's no complaints at all. And I think with Konate, if you go and give him 190, 200,000, the same amount you're giving Saliba and Gabriel and probably what Botman's getting and all these other rubbish centre backs and all these other whoever Schlotterbeck, whatever money he's on, right? Upamecano, if he gets that amount of money, he stays at Liverpool, right? So it's not. That's why I move away from the argument that it's about loyalty. What it is, it's a two-way street, as Mike said, where the players have gone and they've come into the project. They've come into Liverpool on these salaries, which suggests that they are loyal. If they haven't gone and been money hungry, they've come in at 55, they've come in at 70, and they've wanted to be these players. They haven't asked for what they probably might have done, but they haven't pushed for these increases up until they won the league. Now they've won the league, they're in a position of power.
Okay.
But we have to.
Let me. Yeah, I'll come to you. I promise I'll come to you, Kmack. Let me just do the super chats, and then after that, I'm gonna drop a bomba. Only Jerry knows what the bomba is, so let's not drop it now. I'm gonna first read the super chats. Also, guys, we can't have 1,300 people in here. We're not even at 300 likes yet. You want to talk about Isak, and your conversion rate is worse than Darwin. You're all a bunch of Darwins in the chat, and if I were you, I wouldn't have it. So close the live chat, like the video, and continue to enjoy the show. Frauds. Not even at 300 likes, 1,300 people. Anyway, let me just grab these super chats quickly, and then I'm gonna drop the bomb on the guys. Big up to William says, "Good God, I cannot have Florian Wirtz craft a 1xG pass to Nunes next season." Okay. If Darwin Nunes does not leave Liverpool Football Club this summer, I will shave my head bald live on the stream with this panel. Actually, not with the panel, because my head takes way too long to finish bald. So I'm going to get a barber, and I will do a whole stream where I shave my head. If Darwin Nunes does not leave Liverpool Football Club, I'm shaving my head. Whether it be on loan, whether it be a sale, whether it be Saudi. William, rest easy, my brother. Rest easy. He's fucking gone. Don't worry about it.
It's got to be a clean shave, though. It can't be the
bald, completely bald head.
Then you get the shaving cream after, and it's the prison.
Don't worry, I will bring the barber here. I'll bring the barber here himself to make it completely bald.
Perfect.
If Darwin doesn't leave, I will cut my ponytail.
There you go. That's
where
double cut right
No,
there.
but where? See, there's caveats. You can cut it there, right at the.
Okay, I'll cut it like higher up.
Yeah.
He's
gone, chat. He's gone, man. I ain't worried about
that. If Darwin don't leave, I'll quit breathing.
Jesus,
always
man.
Jamie, take it to the next level. Always Jamie, take it to the next level.
I'm not cutting my stash for anything, GSC. Not a fucking chance. Not a chance.
Love you guys in this community. Would love to be more involved with the live, but live in Texas. Always miss them due to time difference. It's okay, my brother. Listen, big up to everyone who watches, whether you guys watch in the US, whether you watch on the replay, whether you watch it live. We got plenty of Americans watching us right now, people from Australia, Canada, India, all over the world. So I appreciate you all. And thank you for the support, Sandy. Thank you so much, my brother. I appreciate you. Big up to you, man. Big up to William again. Where do we stand on Konate? Do we reluctantly sell if he refuses to agree terms this summer? I'm desperate for him to stay personally, but we cannot have a 66 2.0 situation again. William, first of all, thank you so much for the super chat. Big up to you. You always support us on the Friday show. Big up to you. Doubles in the chat for William. I promise you we're going to have a whole section on this. And we're going to have a deep conversation about Konate. Stick around. We're going to talk about Konate. I promise you we're going to answer your question. Leao and Barcola aren't it. One is inconsistent and the other has mediocre end product. My three would be Rodrigo, Yildiz, or Conceição, both ballers. But how can you say mediocre end product and then mention Yildiz when fucking Leao has outscored him every single season? Here's the problem with Leao. When I spoke to Judge Mo about this, who watches Serie A, you guys know Judge Mo. He says that in Leao's mind, he's just bigger than AC Milan. Who the hell is there in the team to save AC Milan's ass? Fucking Krunic. He has to do this shit. You get me? Where he thinks he's above everyone at AC Milan because the players are ass. That's just the truth. Now with Conceição, I'd be happy with it, but he's way too raw yet. Like, he's way too raw. He needs a lot of development still. Rodrigo, of course, we can all agree on. Anyway, listen, big up to all of you guys. Hit the like, subscribe,
Drop
and
your
let me drop the bomba. Okay?
Drop your bomba.
This is my bomba, chat. If given the choice between selling Diaz or Gakpo, I'd sell Cody Gakpo and I'd keep Luis Diaz. That's genuinely what I think. I'd give Luis Diaz 140, 150 grand a week, keep him. And the reason why I say that is the following. Luis Diaz is more versatile. Luis Diaz can play across the front three. And Luis Diaz, in my opinion, would be better playing alongside a Florian Wirtz. That's my take.
I don't disagree.
Welcome to the dark side. Welcome.
I don't disagree. To be fair.
I don't think anyone was really
I
gonna.
thought I was shaving my hair.
I don't
Damn,
think
no one's gonna disagree.
But the thing is that I don't think anyone can disagree because
Thank you.
again, Luis
disagree.
Diaz can play down the 9 in a system like that better than Cody Gakpo. Cody Gakpo has a better shot on him. Cody Gakpo gets into more dangerous areas, but if you add a player like Florian Wirtz, you're going to give Luis Diaz more space. And if I give Luis Diaz more space, I think that he's going to succeed more. And at the end of the day, I feel like the best of Luis Diaz is better than the best of Cody Gakpo. I just don't know which one you're going to get, but I think that if you were to put both players and you had a magic switch and it turned on 100% for each of them, Luis Diaz is better than Cody Gakpo.
Can we let Kmack talk because he's the only one that might disagree?
No, I don't agree. Like Luis Diaz went about 4 months without a goal. Like, Luis Diaz has previous of being shit, and that can happen again because it's already happened. Cody was shit because he was played in loads of weird positions by Jurgen. And when he wasn't played by Jurgen, he was played by Slot, he had his best season. And I feel if Cody was played more and Diaz wasn't played, I think Cody would have got many more goals and many more assists. Like, unfortunately,
do you what's funny?
Cody kind of got sacrificed in a way.
You could argue Diaz got sacrificed by playing false 9, right? But the second part, I don't know. I think I always go back to when Cody first signed, right? And I think that's the best version of Cody. And that's when he played in the center. When I saw him score the goal against United, I don't know what the chat and you guys think, but when he was scoring the goals against United,
that little dink,
and he was running across the right hand side, I was like, this is a player. That's when I was looking at it, I was like, right, you know what, Cody's good.
So he's got the minerals then to do it in other areas, but he hasn't needed to.
Does. Yeah, but that's testament then. I know that's what we think, right? And again, I've always said it. I would keep both. But ultimately, Slot looks at it and he's like, yeah, Diaz is better. Otherwise, Gakpo would have played more games because good players, you just get them on the pitch. That's like when you're a player, you just play no matter where, and you try and fit them in. Because if that was the situation, he would have just been like, you know what, Diaz he can only play on the left, so you know what, you're going to be on the bench now, and we're going to play X player here, and do you know what I mean? So
I think Diaz will give Kerkez more room though when he bombs forward than Cody.
Yeah, true.
They're both good players, you know. I like both of them. It's I like Cody. I think Cody's got a lot of ability as well. I think. Do you know what it is sometimes when I watch Diaz and Cody? I think Diaz believes in himself as a footballer a little bit more than Cody does. If that makes any sense.
We are forgetting all the
Cody.
goals that Cody scored, by the way, aren't we? Like, we are forgetting that he was a bagsman, like goal, assist, like for a number of games.
Isn't it, though? Majority was in the Carabao.
Like, he got over 30 GA, didn't he, this season? Near enough 30 GA.
I think
like,
Diaz
put on loads of goals for Salah, scored really important headers, which Diaz doesn't do. Like, I'm sorry, guys, but you've
No,
got a guy's
I think
you've got a guy who's
Gakpo.
29.
No, but Kmack. I think Kmack's got. I think Gakpo's got a space in the squad, like having the option to go and play a Gakpo and a Diaz. It's worked well. Like I wouldn't change it, right? But when you just look at it on, like, if there was a final tomorrow, Diaz is playing over Gakpo. Like we've seen it, like the proof's in the pudding. So it doesn't matter what we think of Gakpo. On that basis, Slot would probably be more inclined to let a Gakpo go than keep the player that he doesn't believe in as much.
I'd rather keep them both and sign Isak. That's what I would.
But I don't think anyone here wants to get rid. Like, I don't want to get rid of either of them. I don't want to change too much. I don't think it's realistic to try to go for Rodrigo and a striker, right? I just like, I know that we signed Florian Wirtz and all of a sudden the paradigm has shifted. But at the end of the day, math is math, and I just don't see us doing all of that business in one window, changing all of those positions.
You've not heard the financial things that Liverpool got then.
Oh god, yeah, we're going to talk about that. 400 million.
No. I'm perfectly aware of what we can still spend without breaking FFP. We could spend another 300 million, like 100%, but it still doesn't change the fact that you're changing over half of your starting 11 from one season to the next. That's a huge shift.
No, it's not, Mike. It's not. He's already done it. He did it at Feyenoord. 17 players left in his second season at Feyenoord, and then he went on to win the league.
Okay, but I'm not gonna sit here and I'm not gonna compare the Eredivisie to the Premier League. But I understand you have a sample.
What he's done before as a squad and still won trophies.
I think if the spine of your team stays exactly the same,
100%.
building around it doesn't matter. As long as your spine stays the same. So if your spine is still Salah, Virgil, Konate, Gravenberch, and McAllister, if that's your spine of your team, I think everything around it is up for grabs.
Well, yes, but one of the elements of that spine is currently up for debate because of the fact that we don't want to pay him the money that he deserves. But regardless of that, I don't see Gakpo.
Are you talking about Konate?
I don't see. Yeah. I was. I don't see Gakpo going anywhere. The thing about
Konate, I just want to say one thing on Konate, because everybody's like saying, like, this guy deserves 200 grand. This is the first season Konate's been fit. Okay, like, there's an element of the club needing to know that the player is going to be able to perform, like, season after season, because he's 26, 25, 26. This is a big contract for him.
Kmack.
Sorry, I've got to go on mute.
Let's just put this into perspective, right? Konate right now is on 3.64 million British pounds a year. Sorry, I'm American. I work in years, not in weeks. If he were to make just 600,000 pounds more than what Andrew Robertson made last season, which I believe Andy is the third highest paid player at the club at 9.6 million. If we gave him 200 grand a week, he'd be making 10 million a year. That's 600,000 more than Andy Robertson. Do we think that he is worth 600K a year more than Andrew Robertson? Yes or no?
Yes, of course.
So that's okay, but and you're allowed to have that opinion. But to me, I think that he's worth 600,000 more than Andrew Robertson, just personally. So I don't see it ridiculous of him to ask for that kind of money. Now, if he said it was 300 grand a week, I'd be on your side. I'd say, hey, you're a center back, you're not Virgil. Calm down. If you want to go to Real Madrid, by all means, we'll just sell you this summer. I also don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but I don't feel like 10 million pounds a year is outrageous to pay the second center back in one of the best defensive lines in all of Europe. But yeah, we would have to keep him there. But again, back to the point, I just don't think that Cody's going anywhere. And at the end of the day, Luis Diaz has 2 years left on his deal. If it really comes down to it and the club doesn't want to get rid of him, he's here until June 30th, 2027. And there's nothing that he can do. So if Al Hilal come in and they bid 75 million and we say, you know what, that's enough, and you want to leave, by all means, I can't control what the player wants. If he wants to make money, let him go make money. But at the end of the day, yeah, I can't really foresee anything happening on the left wing unless something like that happens.
I hear it.
Okay, well, that wasn't a bomba then. Fairs. Ekitike creativeness and link up is amazing, even better than Isak. Main thing he struggles is shot selection and composer, but if he gets that right, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Ekitike is Timo Isak. I disagree with one thing Jamie said. I don't think we're gonna, if it's like either Isak or no one. I don't see that world happening. I think we're gonna go in for someone. Anyway, let's talk about Ibrahim and Konate because you guys touched on it a little bit and you guys brought it up. Big up to everyone locked in. We still have 1,400 people in the building. Let's get the likes up now. Subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you guys so much. Let's try to get to 500 likes ASAP. Now, so Konate, contract issues. Obviously, big up to William who brought it up. Where do we stand on him this summer? Are we going to sell him? Are we going to keep him? Jamie, I'll start off with you. Tell me your opinion on this Konate situation.
Oh man, I get a lot of slack for my Konate debate. It's like no one listens, though. So, in my opinion, look, Konate's not world class, right? That's my opinion on Konate. He's not a world class centre back at this moment in time, but he's a very good centre back. But Konate and Virgil are a world-class partnership. You don't have to be a world-class player in that centre-back because of the way Virgil is, but they're a world-class partnership. And because they're a world-class partnership, it's absolutely pointless Liverpool letting him go this summer. It's worth nothing to Liverpool letting him go this summer. Because you want to keep that partnership going for another year when you're trying to retain a Premier League title. Because they're part of the main structure of your team. Goalkeeper and centre backs. If you've got a world class centre back pairing and a world class goalkeeper, you're already almost there to go and win everything. Yeah, and then you just got the goal scorers at the other end of the pitch. You got to keep him. It's as simple as that. Even if he goes for a year, look, Liverpool winning the Premier League trophy again next season is financially worth more than selling Konate this summer. It makes no sense. So I wouldn't let him go at all. Do I think he's a world-class footballer? No, not yet. I think he can get there, though. He's still young for a centre-back. You know, I don't actually think there is a lot of world-class centre-backs in the world at the moment anyway.
There aren't.
So I don't think there's many. Maybe Bastoni, Rudiger and Virgil, maybe. I don't think there's many.
One of them plays for us, and the other two are unavailable.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you get Guehi, none of this matters. You can just let him go.
That's why
anyway.
they might be after Guehi for that reason. But look, with like Saint Kmack said earlier, with Konate and doing his renewals, I know a lot of people have been talking about why have we not renewed his contract yet, and I think it was it's a renewing contracts always is a strategic thing because you've got to do it at a right moment. Konate's first couple of years, he didn't play as much, I think, as Liverpool had wanted him to because of injuries. Also, Matip was still better than him at the time because Matip was a phenomenal centre-back. So, you know, you've got to have that in contention. Last season, Konate, that's be truthful here, under Klopp's last season, Konate lost his spot to Gerald Kwanzaa. Yeah. So are Liverpool looking at it that season and go, right, we really should give Konate a new deal? But they'll probably think, well, he just lost his spot to like Jurgen Klopp played Kwanzaa. He became the guy. So and then he even started the season under Slot. So from a club point of view, I don't know when the club could have actually sat down with Ibu to give him a new deal because nothing made quite enough sense yet to see if he's actually should be getting that new deal. Then last season, obviously, he had a great season. Last season, great season. No one's going to deny that. He played phenomenally. Him and Virgil, world-class centre-back as a partnership. That partnership together, just superb. One of the best in Europe. And from that, you go, right, we need to give Virgil a new contract. We need to give Konate a new contract. Like we gave Virgil because we've got to keep the band together. But then you're like, he's in his last year. So now it's become a little bit more awkward because when players get into their last year, they get, you know, they can ask for a bit things differently. They can look at other teams. They can talk to other agents. It becomes a little bit more difficult. I think Liverpool are quite comfortable with this, though. I think the club will always right with Virgil and Mo. They were always comfortable. If we look back at it now, because they've signed now. We can look back on it. The club were always comfortable with Virgil and Mo, because they always felt like they were going to stay, but Trent was going to always be the issue. That's why they tried to do Trent's contract first the whole way through, because they just had a feeling these two would stay and wouldn't talk to anyone. And I think they got a feeling with that with Ibu next season, that Konate will play, he'll have his head on, he'll play at a high level, he'll play alongside Virgil. And the club are probably thinking, why would you actually want to leave Liverpool right now? You know, just won the Premier League title, your team's on the up. You know, you can see us, we're financially putting money into the club now. You know, we're buying the players that everyone wants. We're building the squad. So it's a good place to be right now. So I can see a world where Konate signs a contract like in the wintertime, like Virgil and Mo did, and there's nothing to worry about. But we don't know what he wants. This is the problem. We don't know what Konate wants. We don't know what the hold-up is. We don't know if it's wages, image rights, length of deal, signing on fee, like a whole thing. We have no idea. I know a lot of people think it's he wants 200 grand a week, and the club don't want to give him 200 grand a week. And as I keep saying, although I don't think Konate is world class, if you want to get a player of Konate's level at that high standard to make a world class partnership in the centre back area, you're going to have to give him around 180, 200 grand a week anyway, if it's that caliber of player. So you might as well just do it with Ibu. I mean, so from a club point of view and from my own point of view, let's just see where the year goes, honestly, because why let him go now? Look at the job we'd have to do in the market. We'd have to get 2 centre-backs in while we're still looking for a striker as well, and maybe a left winger if Diaz leaves. It's just too much. You don't need to do that. The partnership's cool. So just leave it be.
So my thought on that is pretty similar, to be fair. Like, I think Liverpool don't really need to sell. And I don't think we're going to get a huge amount of money for him either, because he's only got a year left. And this is yet another problem that's been lumped on Hughes and Edwards. Like, it wasn't their problem. Like, they were given a player that was coming down into the last year of his contract. Like, yet again, a situation which didn't need to happen. I just feel like the last couple of years, nobody was sorting out contracts. Like, we didn't seem to have a director of football that was actually looking after players' contracts. And it's all kind of caught up with us now. You know, you've got Konate, you've got Robbo, you've got Curtis Jones, you had Bradley at one stage, you've got Jota, Diaz. Who else have you got? All down to 2 years in the next year. So it's a situation that just didn't need to happen, but it has, and we're kind of dealing with it. But for me, I think there's one key element, and it's Mark Guehi. Like, I think Mark Guehi is potentially the player that's going to replace Konate. And if we sign him, I think there's a good chance he'll push Konate out of the team, because I think Mark Guehi probably suits Slot more than Konate, as in stylistically, he's a lot calmer. He's not a hothead. He is strong though. He's a strong player, really good on the tackle. He also doesn't try and win the ball on the halfway line. Like, he's more of a cover player. So maybe Slot wants a player that's a lot more calmer at the back, and to have that option is great. And
let me address what you're saying.
Something. If we sign Guehi, we've got to offer him some football.
Yes, and which he will get even as the backup option. Let me address this, and I want to address Kathy as well, because she's saying no one is bigger than Liverpool. But we cannot meet his demands this summer. Do we go, first of all, big up William? Do we go into next season with uncertainty? Again, not sure how much of this lands on the current regime, but here we are. When you say go in with uncertainty, let me tell you what absolutely cancels the uncertainty. What's at this same time next summer, there is something that will be going on that is called the FIFA World Cup, of which Konate will want to start for France, of which Konate will want to be the starting French centre-back, because Konate got to the World Cup final last time and they lost out because Messi is the GOAT. Now,
because Kolawani missed the one-on-one. But...
Ibrahim Konate. So you
Konate
interrupted me.
Konate set up the last shot of the game that should have been a
You
goal.
interrupted me mid-speech for that shit. Anyway, point is, doesn't change the fact Messi is the GOAT. Anyway, point back to the topic. Now, because he wants to be the starting centre back at France, he will 100% perform this season. Jamie said something that's absolutely spot on. Winning the Premier League versus getting 40 million. Now, someone in the chat will come tell me, keeping Konate doesn't guarantee we win the Premier League. You're correct. Nothing guarantees it. But I want Liverpool to be in the best possible position to win it. And I believe that the best possible position to win it is with Konate. I think on this one, we should just take the L, let him go on a free to wherever the fuck next summer, doesn't matter. Because whatever 40 million we're going to get this summer, oh, look, Jamie's right again. Is Rudiger available? No. Is Bastoni available? No. Now we're looking at other types of signings. Okay, Guehi's going to come in anyway. Now who are we looking at? Oh, let's go get Lukeba. Okay, he costs 60 million. Let's go get Branthwaite. Okay, he costs 70 million. You keep going and mentioning examples of centre backs. They're all expensive as shit. And the most important part is they're nowhere near Konate's quality. Branthwaite is tiers below Konate. Lukeba is 2 tiers below Konate. By the way, while Konate is playing World Cup final with France, Lukeba is playing Olympics with France. Do you understand the difference in level?
On that point,
There's another element that you're missing though, Hassam. Just really quickly, Jerry. If Konate, if we don't settle this, let's say we buy, Guehi, whatever, the 40, 50 million. Konate performs exceptionally throughout this season. He does the job. We win a major trophy, whether that's the Premier League or the Champions League. I'll take either one. Next summer comes. A lot of what he's going to want to do is going to be dependent on things that are completely outside of his control. It's going to be dependent on how France does in the World Cup. It's going to be dependent on how Real Madrid do next season with Xabi Alonso and all the changes that they made. If Real Madrid have a terrible season and Liverpool have a fantastic season, why would Konate all of a sudden just uproot that to go to a different project? At the age of 27 he would be? Yes, money is 100% an example, but I can't put myself in his mind. I don't know what motivates the guy. I don't know if it's trophies. I don't know if it's money. Is it the difference between £50,000 a week that's going to make his decision? I have no idea. But there's a lot. There are a lot of external factors if you keep him for another season. And I do agree that regardless of if we get Guehi, unless the club are presented with an amount of money that we cannot refuse, right? I made him a deal that he couldn't refuse. Then we have to keep him this summer, and there are no ifs, ands, or buts because you can't shoehorn yourself, get rid of Kwanzaa, and just be like, all right, Guehi and Gomez are my backup center backs. That's
why I think Konate's staying because we let Kwanzaa go.
Yeah.
So and by the way, big up Kwanzaa because he looks actually a really good player when you watch him in the under 21 tournament. He's a good footballer on him, mate. But yeah, that's why I think Konate stays. By the way, I know I see a lot of people in the chat talking about Mark Guehi. Mark Guehi's quality. Right? I think it's because he played for Crystal Palace, maybe, and they're not really seeing the player he is. He's a very, very good centre back.
I think going to.
But he's a downgrade on Konate. Is that fair?
No, he's not. Not by much. If he is, not by much.
Okay, let's say he's not a downgrade on Konate.
IQ, Mark Guehi is way ahead of.
That is the point that we now need another centre back.
Yeah, I think
it can't be just Mark Guehi now.
No, but that's what we were doing.
So who's the other guy then? Who's the other guy we're gonna buy? Who? Branthwaite for 70? Lukeba costs 60.
I think
Hato plays left back.
I think personally, right, and we've seen it even Kwanzaa last season, right? When Konate got dropped for Kwanzaa and Kwanzaa played the stretch to the end of the season, and yes, he made mistakes, right? This season, it looked like Kwanzaa was going to start, albeit poor performance against Ipswich. We know how that ended. Any player that plays with Virgil van Dijk gets exponentially better. And I think even if you think Konate is better than Guehi, right, it's not by a massive amount. And you would hope that someone like Guehi would improve by playing with a Virgil van Dijk alongside him, right? So I don't look at that centre-back situation and feel like, oh, it's Konate or bust. If Konate goes, there's no one else available. I think we've seen it, whether it's Gomez, whether it's Kwanzaa, whether it's Endo, whether it's flipping Gravenberch, when we've had 10 players on the pitch and Gravenberch is playing centre-back. Doesn't matter who plays there. the defense is good because of Virgil van Dijk. That's how good it is. And then we are forgetting that we've also got Alisson in goal. Do you understand? That also leads. Like,
okay, but here's the thing, Jerry. Everyone looked good next to Van Dijk. Okay, there's a reason. Once again, I'll quote footage Judge Mo. There's a reason why Mo says Van Dijk is the greatest centre back he ever saw. And if you can watch the Italian league, the reason why he says that is because his logic is everyone looked good next to Van Dijk, which I agree with. But my issue is the following: some people look good, some people look very good, and some people look excellent. Now Konate looks excellent next to Virgil van Dijk. You want to know why? Because it's a match made in heaven. Why? Because Konate is the guy that's like aggressive. I'm gonna tackle. I'm gonna just run in, try to get the ball, etc. While Van Dijk is like the general. He's like.
That's why I disagree. I think this is why I disagree personally. I think the best Virgil van Dijk has had has been Matip, because what you have,
Matip is just as aggressive.
No. Matip,
both calm.
Matip didn't dive into challenges. Matip stood up. He didn't go.
Joe Gomez.
Someone at right back.
Joe Gomez the same. Joe Gomez the same. One of the best partnerships. Joe Gomez is as calm as Virgil.
No. Joe Gomez is quite rash as well with how he plays. He's very, very front-footed, aggressive in comparison to Matip. I think Matip was. I think even when Virgil van Dijk speaks about Matip, he used to always be like, "Oh, Matip," like Matip. Like he's like, what a baller, what a player, because they complement each other because they were on the same wavelength. What you don't.
Okay, no problem. You want to know what? Let's not argue semantics here. My thing is, look. Now it's at the stage where I feel like we're changing too much if we lose Konate.
Oh no, that I agree with.
Because I feel like you need to have a spine. I've said this on the last stream. Last Friday we were all here. I said our spine is. Let me say it. Our spine is Alisson, Konate, Van Dijk, McAllister, Gravenberg, and then Mo. That's like the spine of the team, and then you can change shit around that. Now, if you remove one of the centre-back partners, now I've got to introduce Mark Guehi playing next to Van Dijk. And on top of that, I need to go get a backup centre-back because Kwanzaa left.
Yeah, I agree. I wouldn't sell Konate. I wouldn't sell Konate. All my point is that it's more to do with Guehi.
But Konate deserves 200 grand a week. Give it to him.
Oh yeah. No, I do. That's what I'm saying. I would keep Konate. I'm saying I would keep Konate, and he deserves it. Same as Diaz, same as all of these. They deserve it. What my point is that it's more to do with Guehi. I think Guehi's a shrewd signing because I don't think the gap between Guehi and Konate is that different. If anything, I think Guehi's actually a better leader. I don't look at Konate and see, for Liverpool anyway, where you can be a potential A-list centre back. He isn't. He's B. He's the B guy. Like
Mark Guehi is a fantastic signing. You were in the chat as well when I was talking about Guehi. You saw how much prop I did to him on the Coppish show last Friday. I was defending Mark Guehi when the guy was like, I told them all, if his name was Marquinhos Guehinho, all of you would have been like so excited at the fact that we're getting, because his name is Mark. Everyone's like undermining what he is. I really like Mark Guehi. I rate him highly. My problem with this is, number one, because this guy, like you've repeated this comment 100 times, right? If he doesn't want to be here, then just sell him.
That's not what he's saying.
40 million
for him.
Guys, we are Liverpool fans who want to see our club win. All five of us were not happier than anything this whole season when we saw Virgil lift the Premier League title. I want Liverpool to win. I want Liverpool to succeed. Fuck the 40 million, because the 40 million is not going to make a difference to my life. What am I going to do with that 40 million? 40 million is what Harvey Elliott money.
Also, there's realistically like one team that if they even presented that money, Konate would say yes to on 1 year left in his deal, because And are PSG going to come in and spend 40 million on Konate? I feel like if they were going to do that, they probably would have tried to get him in before.
No, but the reason why PSG would pay the money is so Madrid don't take him next summer.
No, I don't think Konate wants to leave. I think it's just all bullshit.
Personally,
I agree. I think he just wants a pay rise.
But at the end of the day, I don't care what you want. If you're getting a third of what you're worth, it doesn't matter how much you love the club. You shouldn't be there at 26, about to turn 27 into the prime of your career. Ibrahim Konate should not be on £70,000 a week. That's unrealistic.
I agree with that.
That's 3 times less yearly than Andrew Robertson made last season. That doesn't make any fucking sense.
And Mike, you know, you're speaking about finances. Think about the players we're selling for 40 million. Harvey Elliott, Kwanzaa,
Yeah.
fucking Darwin
No,
Núñez.
we aren't like
That's
I'm
the level of
very
quality
firm.
you're gonna get for 40 million. The truth of the matter is, if you want to replace Konate like legit, honestly, you're gonna have to drop
You
like
have to go-
80, 90
yeah,
million on
You
the
have to
table.
you have to go get fucking
Saliba from Arsenal or some shit.
Yeah,
Like that's how
either
you-
him or you'd have to go and buy Bastoni. I don't see Konate going anywhere because I don't see anyone coming up with the money. And like you said, I think that the club views it the same exact way that Jamie put it. If I win the Premier League again next season, I get 100 and whatever million. He can go for free because I could just go buy fucking Bastoni. I don't give a shit. Or I can buy Saliba or whoever. But to me, the reason why I think that Guehi, like this is the time to make that move, is number one, he's homegrown. So that's a very important aspect that we're sort of overlooking, because especially if we get rid of Harvey Elliott, you need to fill that spot in terms of homegrown on the team. Number two, regardless of what you think of his potential now, there is the potential. Guehi would be homegrown.
Yeah.
So if we got rid of Elliott, he comes in, replaces that spot. Guehi could be just as good as Konate against Virgil van Dijk. And then let's just say Konate wants to leave. Now, all of a sudden, instead of having to look for Bastoni, I just won the Premier League with Guehi and Konate, with Guehi and Van Dijk. Doesn't really matter how many games he played, as long as he's proven that he could do that. Then all of a sudden, my target next season doesn't have to be Bastoni, doesn't have to be Saliba. My target next season could be, okay, let's go back 4 years to when we signed Konate. Let's go do that again. Let's go spend 36 million pounds. Exactly. Let's go spend 36 million pounds on a center back and let's develop him.
But can I just address the Shay? Who told you he doesn't want to be here? Because every time Konate spoke in public about Liverpool, he's been nothing but complimentary. He stated publicly how much he loves the club. If he wants a pay rise from 70k, guys, with all due respect, not every time we side with the player, not every time we side with the club. I understand if we have a different opinion. I understand that. But let's all be logical here. Ibrahim Konate is on £90,000 a week.
No, 70,000 pounds.
Sorry, 70,000 pounds a week. If the guy wants a pay rise, he fucking deserves it. He deserves at least double, like 180 grand a week. Like, he deserves that level of money, because that 40 million that we're going to get from selling him, I can't use that money to replace anyone with. Whatever center back that you like is going to cost minimum double that. Lukeba, a player that Liverpool, I'm telling you right now, this is a player that I told you all last summer Liverpool like. Guys, he cost 60 fucking million. Well,
but that would be a next summer sign.
Do you know what it is though? The only way it logically makes sense in my mind, right, is Liverpool don't want to sign Konate to that amount of money because they just don't believe in him being the 8th centre back when Virgil goes. That's what it is. Yeah, that's what it is. Because if you did and you thought, oh my,
you'd tie him down, wouldn't you? Be like, what?
You tie him down because you're like, he's the Virgil van Dijk replacement right there at the club, right? Liverpool don't believe in that, so they don't want to go and pay a Konate 250, 300, whatever he wants. I'm not up to date with the figures, right? To then be in negotiations with a Bastoni and be like, yeah, we might have to give him 350, 400 for him to come because we're telling him he's going to be the main guy. Like, you can't go and do that. Whereas Liverpool look at it and be like, actually, Guehi, what is he on? 50, we can get him on 100. We're saving money in that regard. He probably homegrown, that he's probably going to be on the level of a Konate once he plays with Virgil, if not potentially better. And he's got leadership qualities. Could he become Virgil van Dijk's replacement in terms of leadership at the back? Maybe more so than Konate. Not saying he's going to replace him as a player, but then you're looking for a B-side centre-back, which is easy to find. But to find the leader like at the back is difficult. Like, look how long Liverpool waited to go and get Virgil van Dijk.
Remember, people question how much Mo and Virgil love the club during the contract era, by the way. Never forget, Ends, and I'm going to call him out, he came on the stream, and Jerry, because he's a fraud, tag teamed with him that day. He was like, oh, show me a quote where Mo said how much he loves Liverpool and he wants to stay. Oh, if he loves Liverpool, he should accept like this much money, that much money, blah, blah, blah. When, guys, not every time contract situation, let's think logically here, ya habibi. The guy is on 70 grand a week. Of course, he deserves a pay rise. And at the end of the day, whatever money you're going to get for Konate, you cannot replace like for like. You can't even replace like 3 tiers below, bro. You can't.
No,
that's
but
the problem. And for me, I'm sorry. Let me just give a final statement. For me, getting 40 million is not worth sacrificing a Premier League title or a Champions League. It's just not fucking worth it.
I agree with that. What you said is disingenuous because there's context. Virgil van Dijk and Salah were at the top of this supposed bracket.
Oh, here we
Great.
go.
Konate's on peanuts. That's completely different.
Hey,
Yeah.
Mo Salah's on peanuts compared to Jadon
Kmack, go
Sancho.
ahead.
Can I,
Everyone's on peanuts compared to Ronaldo right now. Have you seen
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
He
absolutely.
knows what he's doing. He
Can
knows what he's
I
doing.
mention something that kind of just bear with me a sec, okay? So when Slot signed, yeah, we got Slot in. David Ornstein broke the news that we were going for Lenny Yoro, yeah. So that was a centre back we were going for, yeah. We were going for a centre back, an opportunist centre back, yeah. We didn't get him, yeah. We then went for another centre back, yeah, in Dean Huijsen, okay. We didn't get him. He went to Real Madrid. Why? Because we all know that they didn't want to sell Quansah. We know they didn't want to sell Quansah. The reason why they sold him is because they got such good money for him, and we also got a buyback. So there wasn't a plan to sell Quansah. Maybe, I know this is wild, but maybe Konate has genuinely said he wants to go to Real Madrid to replace Rudiger. Maybe he has genuinely done a trend, and all that stuff about don't listen to what you see in the news. Maybe this is all about Konate wants to run his contract down and he wants to go to Real Madrid because Trent's just done it.
Maybe so,
And
but
we are now.
And even if you're right, I would still keep him.
That's entirely speculative. But like that's again, much like why he's not signing the contract. That's speculation, and I can't like again. All I'm saying about the contract is that I don't think that he should be making that little. I don't even know if that's what his contempt is about. It's just like how the same exact thing with Trent. Like again, it's still speculation. Like we don't know what was going on.
I don't want to sell him, by the way. Like
you know,
keep him till his contract expires.
But to your point, Kmack, which actually I think it's actually got more legs, right? Is the club have shown on a consistent basis, right? On a consistent basis that they are looking to go and get competition for Konate.
Yeah,
that's another indicator to suggest. That's another indicator to suggest that the club, Slot, whoever it is, don't think Konate is going to be the main guy because we have never done that for Virgil, and Konate's been there what 6 years now, 5 years. How long now?
But hold on, Jerry. Jamie, go ahead.
Do you know what I think with Dean Huijsen? I think Liverpool are looking for him to be Virgil's replacement in the years to come because he plays on Virgil's side of the pitch. I think that's what Huijsen or whatever he pronounced him as.
Jamie
with the other
He is both-footed.
with Lenny Yoro, I think he was an opportunistic signing. They thought they could get in with Konate. This is one thing I will say about Konate. Yeah. I've seen Konate play without Virgil, and it's not pretty at times. I think you could bring Mark Guehi in, and if he's playing without Virgil, he'd be a leader at the back.
Yeah,
agreed.
And that's the difference between him and Konate for me, and that's maybe what the club are looking at. I think that's what the club look. He might not be he might not be as physically imposing or as good as Konate in that way as a centre back. But if Virgil was out, God forbid, and you had Guehi and Konate there as a partnership, I think that still rocks because you got Konate still got his leader in Guehi.
But the key there is Konate. That's key.
Why I'm not really cut out this season. That's why I think the Mark Guehi signing, if we do sign in summer, that might go really under the radar of a phenomenal bit of business.
Yeah,
there's another thing that I keep seeing in the chat, and I'm not gonna fucking tolerate the disrespect for Konate's ability because. I mean, I saw someone bring up multiple times that
we don't need to keep Konate to win the league. Like
someone brought up multiple times about the
it really helps
Dembele goal at Anfield. If you're going to sit there and you're going to tell me that Dembele goal is 100% on Konate and Konate having low IQ, you don't know shit about football. And you have absolutely no idea the chaos that happens in front of goal. Konate is a fucking machine. Konate's job literally was to be a sweeper last season. It was Trent. I need you to usher people to the byline or just stay there so that Konate can win the duel at the edge of the box. Konate has one of the best aerial duel rates in the fucking Premier League. Konate can score goals from corners. He can win headers that then lead to goals that you score from corners. Konate has passing ability. He has possession ability. He can be calm. He has a high IQ. He's physically gifted. He's a ginormic presence at 6'4", and the man is not slow. To disrespect Konate's ability is crazy. The only criticism that you could have of Ibrahima Konate is the fact that he was injury prone at the beginning.
That's it.
But what did we all say the entire tenure of Jurgen Klopp? That in training, they're running these players into the ground. And where did the majority of all these injuries, not just to Konate, but to everyone come from? The training ground. It was very rare that a player got hurt on the pitch. Where did Konate's injury occur? This season. On the pitch. It happened in a game. If a player gets hurt in a game, what are we going to do? You're going to sit here and act like, you're playing FIFA and you turned injuries off? Shit happens. As long as it happens on the pitch, I'm fine, because you know what? It is a straight up inevitability. But if it happens in training grounds, that's where there's a problem. The second our entire training regime changed, Konate stopped getting hurt. And so if I were to act on this precedent now, I expect Konate to play another 30-plus games next season. And if he plays another 30-plus games next season without Trent there, with Frimpong there, all of a sudden we could be seeing a totally different version. What if Frimpong actually covers space better than Trent? What if
Because he's a lot quicker, just like Kyle Walker.
What if Konate doesn't have to deal with two jobs? I mean, people yelled at him when we had 10 men against the Emirates because he got beat twice by Havertz. It's because he was playing two fucking positions at once.
That's one thing where I'm going to stop it, because I agreed with everything, but Konate's role in the team wasn't to do two positions. That's like his strength, isn't it? That's his strength. His strength is the ability to go
channel defender
and channel defend.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is fine. What will happen though is that there'll be more of an emphasis on him on the ball, right? So what happened is when we started off, do you remember the fullbacks were really, really, really narrow? I know a couple of times Trent was high and we got caught out, but Robbo and Trent were really, really narrow, almost, do you know what I mean, hugging the two centre-backs. That now just requires your defenders to be better on the ball. And Konate isn't the best ball-playing centre-back. He's decent.
Which is why we're going for Guehi.
Which is why we're going for Guehi, which is why we went for Huijsen, which is why we went for Euro and before, right? And it's why, lo and behold, Kwanzaa went and started the season, because he's better on the ball. Of course,
very well.
Maybe. Season. And I think if going back to it, if you're Konate, you can see that. You know that. It's like being at work and they're trying to get you out of the job, and they keep hiring the person that's going to do your job. Like, you just know after a while, they're trying to get me out. And it's not as clear cut as that, but you would see that because you think, and he probably has an ego, as every footballer does. I should be the main guy. They should be looking at me like I'm going to be the captain of Liverpool. I'm going to do this. I'm going to be the main guy. They're not looking at him like that. And the fact that we're even entertaining Guehi is even more of a reason why he's saying, you know what? Show me your loyalty. Show me how much you respect me. Do you rate me as much as you say you do, or is this just you're telling me you rate me?
The thing is, you want to know, Jerry. The longer that you four are speaking, I'm just thinking about it. Look, centre back.
Jerry's on fire there, by the way.
He was cooking. Four centre backs for next season: Konate, Guehi, Van Dijk, Gomez. My confidence level is like up here.
Well, it's as good as anything.
Like, I'm more than okay with it. I'm just happy about it.
Konate could be better. Konate could be better.
Know why? Yeah. Here's why I'm happy with it. Tell you why I'm happy with it. Let's say, and this is something that will happen across the season. Let's say we draw Atletico Madrid in the quarterfinal of the Champions League. We're gonna go to the Wanda Metropolitano on a Wednesday. We're playing Brentford at home on a Saturday. Guess what? I can go Konate Guehi against Brentford, and then whichever one performs better, I'll play him next to Van Dijk against Atletico Madrid, and that way Van Dijk can get the rest. That is genuinely like the most perfect scenario because of Guehi's leadership and what he brings to the team. That's why I don't want Guehi to replace Konate, because then it's a completely different thing, because now I've got to start looking at, shit, who's my third option? Because we all know Gomez is made from biscuits, and he gets injured a lot himself. So that's another problem. Now, if Gomez is the fourth choice centre back, it's a different element. Now, my issue with selling Konate is, and we've gone full circle here, and we all agree with it, is look, the money that we're going to get, the price is going to get, is not worth it. If you told me we're going to sell Konate for 80 million and use that money and buy Bastoni, I'd be like, okay, guys, I understand why we're doing that. But you're telling me I'm going to sell him for 40 million because he has a year left on his contract, and then we're going to go like, oh, Hato, let's go. Guys, that is like significantly weaker now. Let's be honest. Like, Hato and Joe Gomez as our backup center backs is different than saying Guehi and Joe Gomez are my backup center backs. That's a different animal. A completely different animal. Anyway, let me just read these super chats for the wrap up the stream. I know Kmack has to go as well. We're just gonna read the super chats and then we're gonna redirect you guys to Kmack's channel. Guys, everyone please hit the like button. Everyone please subscribe. We are just 40 likes away from 500 likes. Let's get there. We're also under 20 subscribers away from 54.1k. So let's get there. Everyone please like the video. Close your live chat. Like the video. I know you enjoyed this show. This was an absolutely electric show. Let me just go to a couple of these super chats. Big up to my guy, Will. Again, thanks so much, Will. I appreciate you, my brother. He says, completely agree. If keeping Konate means we get 21 and or number 7, we should keep. Exactly. Guys, winning the Champions League group stages gives us 80 million. How much does winning the Premier League give us again? Was it 180?
Yeah, it's like 108. If you could basically go out and just buy
180 million.
At the end of I think next April, Liverpool's money total will be the highest, one of the highest
probably
in Premier League
ever.
history.
Yeah. If we just win the Champions League, forget even win the Champions League, win the Champions League group stages and win the Premier League, that's 260 million pounds for all the accountants in the chat. Then let Konate go on a free, and exactly what Mike said we do. Now you can take a 60, 70 million, 80 million and go buy a proper center back. And
you don't even know if he wants to leave. But like, then again,
exactly.
we don't, like, he might not want to leave. He might want to stay. We have no idea.
Exactly. Guehi is not a downgrade from Konate. Konate only struggled after rushing back from his knee injury this season. Who would you have against Vinicius? I agree that Konate is a downgrade Guehi is a downgrade on Konate, but I agree with the boys as well. It's not like a massive downgrade.
In isolation, it is a downgrade, but we don't know what he would look like alongside Virgil.
Which is
okay.
Konate,
who are the A-star center backs in the world right now? Virgil, Rudiger, who else?
Stoney
probably.
Okay, but
Gabriel.
Okay, Gabriel, I agree with that. A-star.
Gabriel over.
Now
over
you go
Saliba.
down to the A level. Saliba, Konate, like who else?
but that's my problem is, you know, when you're saying like Saliba, Konate, right? I mean, they're probably the same. But I'm looking at the A1s have to be the skippers. They've got to be the leaders at the back. Then
no, that's why I put A-star a level above.
Oh, okay, yeah. So
A-star only has
maybe
people. Virgil, Rudiger, Bastoni. That's it.
The thing with centre backs, because there's always this saying you shouldn't see how good your defender is at defending. That's an old saying. Yeah, it's because it's the way you set up in the system.
Yeah.
Now, if Gabriel and Saliba played like Liverpool do, would they be found out a little bit more?
No.
Are they more? Are they more protected? Would you say Arsenal centre back pairing are more protected at Arsenal than our centre back pairing at Liverpool?
Okay, but I only have one just quick rebuttal because I don't want to do Arsenal prop. But when Arteta did let the shackles go and he actually let the boys play,
of goals.
They actually did really well. Gabriel and Saliba.
No, they conceded loads of goals and they lost matches. That's why he went back to be defending well again.
Yeah, but that was Gabriel from 2 years ago when they were more offensive.
No, that was the beginning of this season. Just gone.
Well, I would say Gabriel doesn't get his found out, but Saliba did get found out.
Yeah, Saliba probably found out more. But
Yeah,
anyway,
Gabriel's also
let's say Saliba and Konate are the A level. What is Guehi? Like B+, like the tier below? Fair?
But this is my point. I don't, unless you're basing it off the fact that, and again, it's as Mike said, it's context, isn't it? It's like, oh, Konate's played in the Champions League. Konate's done, like, Guehi's this skipper that's led Crystal Palace to their first trophy. For me, that's a bigger achievement than being just the side person to Virgil, if that makes sense. That's more difficult. Like to play with Virgil van Dijk is like every centre back.
Yeah, but then what usurps that is the pressure of playing for Liverpool, expectation to win week in, week out.
No, the pressure's there, but what I'm saying is the pressure to go and deliver when your club has never won anything. There's a massive.
No,
pressure.
I agree, of course, but that's why I'm not even disrespecting Guehi.
He's a
I'm
half step.
disagreeing with
Half
Faraz.
step
also
behind.
have to look
I'm
at
simply
most.
saying,
Half step.
That's fair. Half a
I'm
step.
simply saying
half a
Guehi
step
is
behind
just
at
one
most.
tier below Konate. If
He
he
was-
is, that's
half a tier. B plus to A.
Guehi was our best defender in the Euros. Like, that's England.
he
I
was.
think he's England's best centre back personally.
I think
But
he
that's
is
he
as
is.
well.
If he's,
Which
if
is
he-
why I think he's going to start in the World Cup anyway. By the way, even if Guehi is third option, at Liverpool,
Starting in
third
the World
option
Cup.
will.
Yeah.
At Liverpool, third option will play minimum 35 games.
The competition will be great.
Minimum.
What if
What we
Liverpool
need-
play about 3 next
Tuchel
season?
will be a bit of a prick though, man. Tuchel looks at the type of prick to be like, you played 30 games, you didn't play 35, therefore you're not starting.
Yeah, but who the fuck are you going to start over Guehi?
Who are you gonna
as center
replace
back
Guehi with?
from England?
Maguire?
Tuchel, he's going to play.
Tuchel will
he's
play
gonna-
half the Chelsea squad.
Walker, he's going to go and play Ponza, he's going to play all of those players and say, sorry, they played 50 games. That's what
Wait, you think he's going to put Kwanzaa over Guehi?
I think Kwanzaa's got a future there. though.
Konsa.
Oh, my bad. Sorry, my bad.
Konza. I like Konza as well. I think he's a good player.
Misheard.
Konate doesn't play enough for the money he wants, and then you say, I reckon he wants more than 200 grand a week. So how many? Let's just check this. How many appearances does Konate have overall for Liverpool this season?
I don't think
This
he
was
wants
his
more than
biggest
200 grand.
season.
I don't.
Okay,
think,
first of all, he played 31 Premier League games, 4 Carabao Cup games, that's 35, 7 Champions League games, that's 42, and yeah, FA Cup he didn't play. He played 42 games this season. How's that not enough for the money?
I don't think that
42
we
games.
offered. We didn't. I don't. Where are you pulling that number from? Because I don't think that we offered him 200 grand a week. I think that that's what he wants.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I doubt, because even if he says he wants
Yeah.
300, it'll probably end
Who
up
the
at.
fuck is saying no to 200K a week? That's 10 million a year for a center back. That's a lot of money.
He's
It's
not-
a massive increase in his wages as well.
Exactly.
isn't it?
He's-
That's
Sorry, guys.
three
he's
times. That's
almost
three
double.
times the
It's
amount of money.
3 times. Yeah, exactly. Almost
I
3
got
times.
Real Madrid vibes all over it.
I think he's worth 180 grand a week, guys. Not one of you said Guehi to replace Konate before. Yeah, but we don't want him to replace Konate. We're saying we want Guehi and Konate.
But I'm putting it out there. I'm saying if for whatever reason, and again, I don't want him to go because I'd love to have those 3. But if he goes and Guehi's the replacement, I'm comfortable with that. I'm
Yeah,
not
me
looking
too.
at
I'm cool.
Jerry,
Next
What if-
next
what-
summer, yeah. Next summer.
what if, right? So, who would you be more comfortable with as a centre back option for a cup game, guys? Konate or Gomez, or Guehi and Gomez?
Guehi or Gomez.
Because Guehi's got
Gomez.
that more leadership.
Yeah,
he's the
Guehi's
Virgil.
coming,
He's the Virgil in that situation.
Why
Yeah.
I'm saying it's
Yeah.
difficult. It's difficult to say like Guehi's better than Konate, but for me, the leader's always better. The leader is just always better
Because
because
football's just more about ability as well.
no, because there's
That's
more.
exactly.
Because for me, the best players, right, are players that they're not
Leaders.
just good within themselves. They make everyone around them better. Everyone around them better.
And that's what Guehi does.
And that's what Guehi does, because Guehi's had Anderson, he's had Richards, he's had this centre back, he's had that, and they've always he's looked good, and the other centre backs look good as well. To the point where Anderson went for 35-40 million to Fulham, Richards now, and Chalobah was there before, and that partnership looked great. He's just a good centre back that makes plays around. If he went to England, the centre backs looked really, really good as well.
Yeah, everyone
Konate
said Anderson was the better
Hold on.
centre back, didn't they? And then
Yes, they did.
everyone said
Usam-
Anderson was the better centre back. He left, and then Guehi just kept doing his thing.
Doesn't that
Usam
remind you of
Bamba.
what was it Dejan Lovren and Jose Font?
What if?
But that's
What
my
if-
point, like even Lovren and Font, right? Font was always the better centre back. He was.
He
the
was,
leader.
wasn't he?
You
But
know, I
Jerry-
always say what it
but
reminds
Jerry-
me of. It reminds me of Sergio Ramos and Varane. This is what it reminds me of.
Pepe and Varane, all of that.
Yeah,
Pepe,
that's what it
yes,
reminds me of.
yes.
Yeah, but when
Varane
you
was
say
a
all
good
of the
set-
time
Wait,
he's been here.
Hussam, hold on. What if? Because of the way that Jerry is speaking of Guehi, I hear it. What if Guehi is not the Konate replacement? What if the club is looking at Guehi, 24 years old, 2 years from now, left-sided center back? He's the Virgil replacement, and we're just
Yeah.
completely thinking about this totally
But
wrong.
that's what I said.
That
That's
works as well.
Okay. My bad.
what I'm saying. I'm saying that they've looked at it and thought that they don't think Konate has the minerals or whatever. They don't whether he wants to leave or whether he's not good enough. They don't think
Okay. My
Konate's
bad.
gonna be
My
Virgil
bad.
replacement, because
You're
if
right,
you had
you're
a
right.
Virgil replacement, you give him what he wants. Because £200,000 in 5 years' time is going to be peanuts for a centre back like Konate if he's the leader and he's the Virgil van Dijk replacement. But
I hear
they
you. I hear you.
go into that, right?
This is
Okay, let me
100%
just address this
proof.
with facts. Over the time he's been here, Osam, not this season only. First season, 11 games. Second season, 18 games. Third
Yeah,
season,
not a lot.
22 games. Fourth season, 31 games.
Yeah, it's not a lot, is it?
There is a
What I
complete
said.
no, but look at the trajectory. It's going like this.
No, but Sam, that's why I said earlier, when could have Liverpool gave him a contract renewal when you look at that game
No,
time?
you are right, of course.
Yeah,
And this
yeah,
is also
yeah.
this is also the conversation that the you know, the transfer guys, Hughes and Edwards, are having a conversation about. Is he going to be able to do another 40 odd games next season? Like, we need to see that before we put the money on the table for a 5-year contract.
Look, you need your centre back ultimately, right? If you're going to play a centre back that amount of money,
He's got to play per week.
Game.
Yeah.
40
Like,
games. Yeah,
yeah,
he's
it's
30,
fine,
30
right?
plus prem. 30 plus prem.
Exactly, it's the spine, right? If that, I'm looking at 35.
50
looking
games
at
a season,
35.
pretty much. Yeah, 50 a
Champions
season.
League, whatever, but 35.
Bro, including all comps, he played 42 games. Khalas,
I-
that's good enough.
Yes, but that is off one season. Now, when you
One
look
season.
and you're like, okay, cool,
Has
let's
to be
look
the
at the
floor.
markers. One season where he's played 40 games, amazing. Apart from that, it's been 11, 18, it's been 20 near enough on average, right? 20 games. On top of that,
true.
on top of that, the club are thinking, all right, cool. But what about Konate's intangibles? Does he give that is he that leader in the dressing room? Is he the leader on the pitch like that? Not really. So now you're looking at it and thinking, we're going to give him 200 grand a week, hoping that he does the 200 games, right? Or 40 games, right? Where you look at Guehi and you're like, oh, he plays every single week. Like, and the injury that he gets, it like, oh, I got someone's poked something in my eye, but he plays every single week. That's the way they'll look at it. And he's
Okay, I understand your logic, but there's another way to look at it. Klopp style, 3 years, not that much appearances. Slot style, 1 year, 31 Premier League games. And keep in mind Mike's point. Now, Frimpong might be just as bad defensively as Trent, if actually not worse. Happy? He could even be worse defensively than Trent. Let's talk something that has nothing to do with football. Frimpong is 100 times faster than Trent. Meaning, Frimpong can now do what Kyle Walker does, which is his defending is, I'm so fast, I'm just going to catch up with the winger.
Cover
That's it.
space. That's it.
but
That's
the
it.
thing is, this idea. But
Frimpong does that, and Konate doesn't. Jerry, you're a centre back.
No,
I
but
played centre back, not as professional as you did, but I played centre back as well
Yeah,
sometimes.
but
Bro, when you have to cover the full back, it's the fucking worst thing ever.
Yeah,
You
but
know
think about the areas where Walker's gone and done that. Walker hasn't been attacking, and where I think Frimpong will be, and again, this is my opinion, right?
Like the final third.
Almost like what
Front.
Hakimi, where sometimes he's even up front, sometimes he's the furthest forward, and Salah's deeper than him, right? Frimpong's not catching any winger from that side of the pitch to the end of the pitch, and he's not going to go
a
in.
long way.
Yeah, but you're going extreme example. You're going like you're going like we're getting counterattacked.
Everyone's
where we
picking
have,
the wrong. By the way, everyone's
No, but
picking the
that's,
wrong
that's
player.
by the way.
No,
Even
but
if you had
Walker-
Maldini at right back, that would be the same thing because
Yes.
you're using the scenario of us attacking in with numbers.
But that's my point. I don't think Frimpong will be in.
Remember
position-
when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer got sent off for Man United when they were attacking in numbers? Like,
Yeah. But I'm saying that I don't think Frimpong will be in positions in the same way Walker is, where Walker's getting back, if that makes sense. Even though he's got the pace. That's my problem. I think Konate is still gonna have to go and do that job because
Jerry.
what Slot will look at it and be like, well, that's what you're good at. Like, why am I going to take that away from you? That helps the team. It means Frimpong can play high further up. Why would you take that away from Konate, right? Which means that Frimpong's got to be deeper now, which means that Salah's he ain't got someone that's overlapping as much. Just tell him to stay there and be like, Konate, that's your job, do it. And I know because I played the centre backs like that, especially when I was injured. I was like, yeah, you're going to be doing my running. You're going to go over there and you're going to go out. Allow him to get forward. You're covering that role. I'll cover the centre.
Do you think I think we're all looking at the wrong player? Yeah, I think we're all looking at the wrong player. I think next season it's going to be Ryan Gravenberch who splits the centre backs when we're off the ball because I think Klopp wants to use his ball running abilities from a deeper position. Now we got Wirtz in the team. where Wirtz and McAllister can play that creative role a little further up. So if you're dropping Gravenberch back a little bit to split the centre backs, that allows your two fullbacks with the ways we've got with Kerkez and Frimpong to play a little bit higher up and wider in them positions, because Gravenberch comes back a little bit, splits the centre back, so they pick up wider starting positions to cover them fullbacks being a little bit further forward. And then you got like a McAllister and Wirtz in that middle of the pitch there with Salah tucking
You know, when I
in.
suggested that last week, everyone laughed at me.
What was like?
I said, I think when we go, actually, it wasn't everyone, it was Tom Little, because he's not smart, of course. I said when we are defending, we're going to defend in a back three with Gravenberch being the third centre back.
I mean, but we already, like that's what we do anyway.
Mike, why is it every time I say a point, you say we already know this? Like, I'm just stating obvious.
No,
no,
time.
people
It
don't
isn't
already
every
know
time.
this. People
It isn't
disagree with
every
the
time.
shit, you
Okay,
fraud.
but hold on. Like when last season, when we were attacking and we had sustained possession, did we ever sit back with a back four? We didn't do that. Connor Bradley was making progressive runs into the opposition box. Trent Alexander-Arnold was doing that into the opposition box. In fact, the only player who wasn't being progressive until Everton at home was Gravenberch. Gravenberch would sit back. He would never take
Not that
the
deep,
impetus.
though. Not that deep.
No, yes, 100%. He wasn't.
Jamie's cooking. I think we might defend
He
in
wasn't.
the back three.
Yeah, he wasn't on the halfway line, but he wasn't getting forward. Everton is really like the only game where I can think that he took the initiative.
See how
to
I
get
praise
forward
people I
and
work with when they
he
make
ended
a
up-
good point?
Because if you've got,
I
because if
praise
you've
you all
got,
the time.
everyone
What do you want
knows
me to
this,
do?
Sam.
If
What
you
do you
got-
want me
if
to
you
do?
got-
You want me to hand you a
Like,
trophy?
literally,
If you
everyone
got-
says this every day.
if you got Grav dropping back and splitting the centre backs that go wider positions, and your fullbacks are sort of like on the halfway line, you got your McAllister and Wirtz there, so you got your four across, and then you got Salah tucking in and your left winger tucking in, and you got your striker up top. You're still controlling the central of the area of the pitch while still having protection at the back. And also, Gravenberch is fantastic as a ball runner. So if you're using him in a deeper position where he's got more ability, where he's got more time to run with that ball and then find the players out wide, the pace out wide in Kerkez and Frimpong, who are very good on the ball as well with it. And then you're getting your Wirtz's moving and your McAllister's moving in support of the attacking minded players. I think that's how Liverpool go roll next season. So it's not like three at the back from the start, but in game management, that's how I think Liverpool will go into a lot of games next season.
Yeah.
Watch Guehi against Vinny, Liao, Kvara, and then realize I think he'll be okay because
but this
Guehi's
is what
come
I'm-
up against Salah,
but this is what I'm-
Haaland, Marmoush, like
No,
some
but
of
this
the
is
best of the best, brother.
This is the problem, innit? Is that people are looking at it like we need a centre back that has to be left by himself and that has to get beaten. That's poor. If you're in a situation like that, where the situations where Virgil's left 1v1 against Moussa Dembele and Son, those are catastrophic defensive errors as a team. It's not like, yeah, it ended up being great play by the defender, but that's not how a team defends. You don't want to go and leave any player isolated. Because I'm telling you now, from what I heard, Rio was dubbing up Virgil van Dijk in training 1v1, right? But that's Rio. That the young kid that
The 16-year-old.
at the academy. That doesn't mean anything. Yeah, that doesn't mean anything. Just because you don't want to be left with Vinny, any player wants to be left 1v1 against someone.
Also, guess what?
Right.
Lukeba
That is
hasn't
like-
come up against Vinny.
I'm gonna
Branthwaite
jump
hasn't
right.
come up against
See you
Vinny.
in a bit.
Big up Kmack. Big up.
Catch us in a moment.
All
Yeah,
these guys
Kmack,
haven't
big
come
up,
up
man.
against Vinny either. So where do you go from here?
Hang on. Surely in them leagues, them guys playing as well, they're going to come across defenders who actually gather good games against them, and
Yeah,
they
of
don't
course.
do well in games. You know what I mean? It's
Kerkez, who we just signed, when he was speaking, he said Mo Salah was like his most difficult opponent. So what? Like coming up against, okay, maybe Dembele would like dribble past you more, but then Salah is intelligent in terms of positioning, where he is on the
If
pitch,
Vinny,
the goal scoring aspect, like these things.
Virgil van Dijk said that his most difficult opponent was Olivier Giroud. He hated playing against Olivier Giroud. No one
Yeah.
would think that if you're just looking at football. It's not as simple as, oh my
because he's
God.
brutal, he's physical, he's a presence. Yeah.
It's nothing. It's intelligence.
Yeah.
It's movement. I wouldn't be surprised if Frimpong said Jack Harrison, whatever. Oh, he was tough that game, but he's rubbish. But I found him tough because guess what? He just might be a pest. You just don't know. But as a team, you just don't want to be left 1v1 anywhere on the pitch. That's why you get into defensive shape.
if you're
Otherwise, you just got man to man defensively and just.
if you're a center back and you're in a one-on-one, that means that 9 other people failed to do their job. That's just
Thank
the
you.
way that I look at it.
Edwards and Hughes don't trust Ibu to put together multiple 30+ games played per season. Konate's only played this many games this season. Yeah, but remember, Slot is our manager. So I'm not even, and you guys know how much of a fan of Klopp I am, but I think his style probably contribute to injuries a bit more than Slot's style does. Specifically given the fact that we have signed Wirtz now, which means we're going to be a lot more dominant in possession, a lot more controlling, and way less chaotic.
His training regime seems a bit
Yeah.
easier on the
Yeah.
players as well, don't it?
Yeah.
So.
He's got like a Faraz Sahabi training.
Well, Ruben Peters, man, Ruben Peters just might be very, very good at his job, guys, and he's a great boy. Ruben
must
Peters
be.
might have been the best signing we've made last season.
True.
Do you know what I mean?
We will be losing the aerial battles so badly. My brother, I would like to introduce you to Fabio Cannavaro, who won a Ballon d'Or. Short as shit.
Yeah,
Coming up in a
aerial
World
goals on
Cup
everything.
against tall as shit forwards, by the way, including like Mark Viduka, who you will laugh at, but Mark Viduka
We are.
was better than he is.
I will say though, like, because our fullbacks obviously Frimpong's what 5'8", Kerkez is what 5'10", 5'11". Yeah, like that's like Virgil and Konate. They're like, and Guehi, they'd be fine. Yeah, central purity. Because
And you got Gravenberch is tall as shit too.
yeah, and what you do, you just make sure they don't cross the fucking ball. It's just simple. as that.
Exactly. It's not that complex.
Yeah, just do your job, man.
Yeah.
You'll be fine.
No one said 1v1. Konate has went already. Yeah, Konate has went against him already. This is true, and we agree with this. However, it's still difficult. It's still difficult anyway, so Jerry's point stands. Anyway, guys, listen, we're going to redirect you over to Kmack's channel. Big up to everyone locked in. Big up to everyone who's showing his support. Big up to everyone who shows us love. Thank you guys so much for showing us so much love, so much support. You guys are absolutely incredible. This stream going to take you over to Kmack channel. He's doing a stream right now. Go and say Hussam Raid in the chat. Thank you to every super chat. Thank you to everyone who shows us love. I'm going to be back, inshallah, tomorrow at 3 p.m. UK time with Souls and Staffy, having a more general football conversation. Love you all, and see you guys then. By the way, Jamie Phillips Football Chats, Mike Das, LFC, Jerry James, and we're going to take over to Kmack channel now. Peace out. All in the description.